Hello everyone, thank you for joining the meeting. My name is Piyush, and today's session is about tailspin analysis, which I would like to share. Before I start with the session, let me first introduce myself. My full name is Piyush Shah. I have around 12 years of experience into data analytics, mainly into supply chain and trade discount analysis. Uh, I am currently involved in an IT role wherein I'm learning the backend part of the data, how to manage the data, how effectively the data needs to be managed. Yeah. So I really love problem solving analytics. This is what I support in my current role. So majorly identifying the analytical solution and then implementing, helping business to implement the solution. All right. So let's move to the topic. So the topic is tail spend analysis. So tail spend analysis is something which is very important for the companies which has large amount of purchasing, mostly the procurement processes, supply chain. All this company they uh, should do a tail spend analysis basically to manage their unmonitored spend, maverick spend. Uh, every company definitely has some strategy on their spend. Uh, yeah. So major companies do manage their spend strategically, but however, there will always be some amount of spend which is unmonitored. This is where tail spend analysis comes in picture. Okay. So the image that you see here is this is how the very important step, the very first step of tail spend analysis to understand, what percentage of the spend is a tail spend and what percentage is strategically managed. And the definition of, the tail spend varies from different company to company. Some company will define uh, strategically managed spend as a contract spend and non-contract spend as a tail spend. However, some company will categorize strategically managed spend as a PO spend, the purchase order spend, and non-purchase order spend like spot buys will be categorized as tail spend. Okay. So it starts with understanding your spend, and then uh, categorizing your spend in different part. That is hidden tail, head of the tail, body of the tail, and the tail of the tail. Okay. Now, as you can see, hidden tail is very important to be addressed because this comes from the top supplier and the spend is also high. Okay. Here lies the very big opportunity. I mean, the primary focus of the company should be, you know, countering this. Okay. The next step will be head of the tail. Head of the tail will be basically the spend is low, but the count of supplier is very high. Here we have an spend consolidation opportunity. So identifying if there is any spend which need to be there is any spend which can be consolidated with our top supplier. Okay. Then we have body of the tail, which are very low. I mean, it needs to be focused. If you are good in first two part, then yeah, the next step will be body of the tail and the tail of the tail. Okay. All right. So to explain this further, what I have done is I have created a analysis on Tableau using the dummy data that comes with Tableau, the sales data. Okay. Let me open the Tableau dashboard. All right. All right. So yeah, as I said, the data that I have used for this analysis is, the sales data, and I have made some changes in the data, like the renaming some, like the customer I have changed to supplier. Then I have, categorized strategic spend and the spot buy. There's some, dummy adjustments that I have made in the data just to make it more real. Okay, make the example more real. Okay. Now here, the very first thing that we see is the spend contribution by supplier. So we want to know, how much our top supplier are contributing to in terms of spend. Let's say if I want to see top 200 supplier, how much they are contributing. Okay. So it says it contributes to 60% of the spend. Let's say top 350 suppliers, how much they are going. So top 350 suppliers are contributing to almost 80% of the spend, which is like almost we have total of 800 suppliers, so which is like 44-45% of suppliers are contributing to 80% of which is not an ideal scenario. So ideally it should be 80% of spend should be managed by 20% of the suppliers. I mean, that is what the industry rule is. And yeah, there is definitely an opportunity here. Next thing is, we have categorized spend into direct and indirect spend. So direct spend is, as you all know, the purchasing that directly goes into, manufacturing the product, like for example, sugar, cocoa, and etc. All the raw material stuff. And indirect spend will be anything like sales and marketing cost, and all those things are involved. Purchasing of chair, purchasing of office materials. Okay. Now, to understand further, what we do is like when we click on direct spend, we get a split of what portion of spend is managed strategically and what is managed spot buys, that is non-strategically. Okay, so we can see that direct is good. I mean, currently 82% of spend is managed strategically and spot buys. And when we click on indirect, okay, so yeah, here we see an opportunity. The 40% of spend is strategically managed, and 60% of spend is non-strategically managed, that is spot buy. Okay, and when we click on direct, this basically gives you a picture of so we definitely see, even though it is 82%, we definitely see there are some top portion of spend which are spot buys, and there is an opportunity for an improvement. Okay, so let's say if I just want to highlight this, you get to see the suppliers. So these are the top suppliers, and then the green color is strategically managed, and the gray is spot buy. So yeah, you definitely see an opportunity here. Your first step will be the head of the tail. Let's say we define, I mean, our major portion as the hidden tail. you know so this is what it will be, and you see an opportunity. You now know which supplier you want to go for. You should go for to basically understand what is happening here. That will be the next. I mean, there is more drill down analysis can be done on top of this, identifying what is going on, why there is an spot buy happening with these top suppliers. Then yeah, but yeah, we will not worry about the, I mean, the direct, because the portion is good. Let's click on indirect. Okay, here we see a lot of opportunity. The major portion uh, is 60% of spend is indirect. Now I want to see, let's say if I just select this portion, I see some suppliers, top suppliers. My first step will be basically to build a strategy, to convert this spend into a PO spend, or contract spend with a negotiated price. And let's say you want to achieve, to buy something, earlier you were buying for say $12, now you purchase that for $10. Then you make a saving of, you negotiate with the supplier and you finalize the price of $10, based on the volume that you're going to purchase. You are going to bring a $2 saving per unit, which can be huge in terms of, you buy large quantity. Okay, now yeah, as I said, this there is a lot of opportunity to do a further drill down analysis, in terms of spend consolidation. Usually for the body of the tail and the tail of the tail, we should identify a spend consolidation opportunity. What I mean by that is, identifying what are we purchasing from these suppliers, and then comparing it with the top suppliers. If we can, leverage our top supplier, because we have a high chance of getting a good price from the top supplier, and the negotiation will be easy. That is a further analysis can be done, on top of this analysis. Yeah. So, but yeah, I believe this will be the first step to identify, where the opportunity lies. But and finally, a building strategy on top of it, defining head, hidden tail, head tail, tail of the tail. That is the next step. And the last step will be identifying the suppliers that you want to, the category and the supplier that you want to target, and then build strategy on top of that. So that's it. This is what I wanted to share. This analysis is done in Tableau, and I'll share the link of this. I'll also be uploading this on YouTube, and I'll share the link. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for your time.